What's good, everyone? Welcome back to Level 11. So it has officially been 3 months since my first upload talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, because that was when their last investors meeting was. And so here we are, we've come full circle. I was supposed to do this yesterday and I did not, and yeah, well, whatever. I ran out of time, I got busy. If I had been able to live stream the day before, whatever. We're just going to get right into it. So these two tabs are going to be compare and contrasting kind of deals. This is last year's as opposed to this year's. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to probably actually stay on the current year and then go back to compare to last year as I see fit as I'm looking through these. So let's take a look. Actually, you know what? It already lists it here as a comparison. So you can see here, profit-wise, Nintendo's down, which is ultimately to be expected right now. I mean, obviously, for investors, it doesn't look good, but at the same time, it's like if they have enough of an understanding of the business, then this isn't really going to trouble them. And if anything, if I were an investor, which... if I were an investor, I would actually buy more stock in Nintendo right now while things are down, because this is the lull period. Buy the dip, wait until Nintendo just, skyrockets in popularity with the Switch 2. This is the time to buy right now, is basically what I would say, from a investor perspective. From a consumer perspective and, a developer perspective, this is, pretty normal, because Nintendo is basically doing what they should as far as kind of winding things down for this generation so they can build up momentum for the next generation. This is something that Sony and Microsoft seem to have trouble doing, as they really want to continue to profit off of those large install bases instead of having the guts to really go all in on the new install base instead. And that seems to be the route Nintendo's going. So we'll see how it turns out for them, but I think Nintendo is really good at, creating a demand by just, not making things available even though people clearly want them. I think Sony is starting to learn that concept with Bloodborne. But Nintendo knows how to do that with, oh, where's Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD for the Switch and stuff like that. They just keep that kind of stuff in the back pocket for when they feel it's the best time to... do it. And so, anyway, we're going to move on. And, when you compare this year to last year, as a lot of people have already said, last year was pretty big for Nintendo in the form of, you had Tears of the Kingdom, you had Pikmin 4, you had the Super Mario Brothers movie, and we're going to see all that in the comparisons as we kind of scroll through all this. Yeah, down 45%. Yeah. Forecast. Okay. Oh, we got business highlights. So let's see. Goes into stuff that released this year, which is, again, that... This all kind of makes sense because this year's been pretty slow for Nintendo. I mean, they're still making and releasing games this year, don't get me wrong. It's just they're all smaller games or remasters, or, they're not Tears of the Kingdom level games as far as, success. And even that, I've been hearing, so I assume we'll see below, Tears of the Kingdom apparently... Well, I'll wait until I see any evidence of it, and if not, I'll bring it up later. But anyway, let's see. We've got first-party titles here. This is page 14 of the current one, so let's go to page 14 of the other and compare the two. Like I said, last year you had Pikmin 4. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, I forgot about that. Well, we got Mario Kart and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, Mario RPG Remake, WarioWare... So I guess Mario and Pokemon are the two real big things here, so here, on the other hand, you've got Nintendo World Championships, Emio the Smiling Man, and nothing against these games, they're just clearly smaller games, a 2D Zelda, top-down 2D Zelda, which is big. It's not like 3D Zelda big, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably gonna enjoy this more than Tears of the Kingdom, but that's a different discussion. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. We'll see. I'm not happy with Tears of the Kingdom though. They really should not have reused the same world. I'm gonna go on a small rant. Tears of the Kingdom should not have been what it was. If they wanted to make a Breath of the Wild sequel and put it on the Nintendo Switch and have it out at the same time, what you should have done is make a new world, albeit smaller, even like half the size or a third of the size if you needed, but make it much more dense, include a seasons mechanic, less shrines, more traditional dungeons, more emphasis on a story that is actually going to be cohesive and palatable for consumers, for players. Those four things, that's what you should have done. I don't know, like, they gave Nintendo too much thinking outside the box room with Tears of the Kingdom, to their detriment. And, you know, I'm just going to say, I hear that Breath of the Wild outsold Tears of the Kingdom this last month. So, that kind of speaks for itself, in my opinion. But anyway, we got Super Mario Party Jamboree, October 17th. I'm probably actually going to get that. I'm going to get that and Zelda for sure. Mario and Luigi Brothership, that's actually a pretty big deal, the fact that there's a new Mario and Luigi game, but it is a series that's normally a handheld series, right? Not a home console series, so again, it's kind of like the, you know, Zelda in that case where it's like a 2D game instead of a 3D game. And then you got another remaster in the form of Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, so at that point you'll have every Donkey Kong Country game available to play on the Switch in some form, which is nice. Because I've never played any of them. I barely have started the first one. Anyway, we're going to go down. Example of an announced Nintendo product. We have this Switch Lite. That's a Zelda Collector's Edition. That alone should push sales pretty well, I expect. And if you go down to the same page, you got the Super Mario Brothers movie. Made over $1.35 billion, basically. So, you know, this might make a lot. I don't know if it's going to make that much, though. Well, excuse me. That much. Right. So... Anyway, let's see. The new Super Mario animated film being produced with Illumination is set for release in Japan on April 24th, 2026. That's news, and I haven't heard anyone speak on that yet. So, that's cool. New Super Mario animated film being produced with Illumination. So, it is a Super Mario... Donkey Kong Country is scheduled, they're calling it Donkey Kong Country, that's cool, to open at Universal Studios Japan in the second half of this year. Ooh, that's going to be exciting to see videos on. Okay, so, April 24th, 2026. Now, is this like a sequel to Mario, or is this just the original Mario movie with lip syncs or something? I mean, I assume it's a new movie, but why Japan specifically? I'm not sure. Well, oh, okay, here we go. The new Super Mario animated film, which we are producing in cooperation with Illumination, is set for release in Japan on April 24th, 2026. The film is planned to be released on April 3rd, 2026 in the United States and many additional markets globally, with select territories releasing throughout the month of April. We are also collaborating with Arad Productions Incorporated to develop a live-action film of The Legend of Zelda. And in addition to that, preparations are underway to open Donkey Kong Country, an area that will expand Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Japan in the second half of 2024. So, we're getting a sequel to a Mario movie, whether that's a full-on just a straight-up sequel or a Donkey Kong movie or whatever, before we get the Zelda movie. But we got a release date, April 3rd, 2026, for the new Mario movie. About, what, a little over a year and a half away. What is that, like 20 months? Something like that? Which is, you know, that sounds like a long time, but ultimately, the older you get, the faster time goes by. So, I guess that's one plus to getting older. You know, silver linings and all that. And in addition to that, preparations are underway, Donkey Kong... Okay, so we're gonna move on. Oh, good, now he's a philosophizer. Examples of initiatives to expand the number of people who have access to Nintendo IP. Nintendo San Francisco is scheduled to open in 2025. I'm one of those channels that's not afraid to say it. This is a big mistake big mistake. They're gonna find out. They'll see. I assume, or they're just gonna, have really high quality security. I don't know. I'm interested. I mean, it's within driving range, so I'd love to check it out before it gets robbed to oblivion. But whatever. I don't know. Like, come on, this kind of stuff. Nintendo needs localizers who are actually like looking out for them. That's my opinion. Tim O'Leary. They need to bring Tim O'Leary back. And, I mean, if he's still there, they need to give him more agency over Nintendo of America. Why? I don't know. I like the guy. He was the only name in credits that I remembered. I was like, oh, he's the only white person that works at Nintendo, was what I thought when I was young. When I was a kid, deadass. Every time I beat a Nintendo game, I was like, oh, it's Tim O'Leary, dude. He's back. He's the only one with an English name. Alright, moving on. Let's see. Okay, well, I mean, I thought, I thought we were gonna see some, sales units, sales figures on games, but I guess not. But one thing that was brought up a lot is that I hear, like I stated earlier, that Tears of the Kingdom was outsold by Breath of the Wild recently. And you know what? I don't blame people. I do think Breath of the Wild was a much bigger step forward for this, for the Zelda series, as well as just open world games in general, than Tears of the Kingdom was. Tears of the Kingdom is more like a technical marvel than anything else, as far as it being able to run as well as it does on the Switch. But anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I just, again, I was supposed to do this yesterday, and so I just kind of wanted to throw my hat in the ring as far as, like, just my thoughts on this new Nintendo investors meeting. And I guess my big takeaway is the new Mario movie, because me looking through this is the first I've heard about it, which is surprising. But anyway, yeah, new Mario movie happening. Donkey Kong Country opens in Japan this year, so that's exciting, as well as, just kind of seeing what Nintendo could be up to as well. Other people who have seen this investors meeting briefing have kind of gone over their thoughts as well, and, what people have to say is always interesting in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think about this all down below. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff, and we'll see you all next time. Until then, keep leveling up, everyone, and take care.